Edmonds would have to step up dramatically. I mean, he's clearly going to be one of the top 3 defensive players rookie-wise this year, in my opinion.
Unless something crazy happens.
Right, but I mean, he should be able to still build off those numbers. The thing is, with Chubb having the advantage of not just having Von Miller, but that entire defense there, he has such an advantage that Edmonds doesn't necessarily have. Now, that being said, in the long runs, Edmonds could be considered the best overall linebacker to come out of this draft. He's certainly looking like he was way worth the pick he got. The Bills got a steal in that pick. And
I think it's going to be really tough for him to be seen as the best linebacker, especially Roquan Smith.
Yeah, but Roquan Smith is also...
You got Khalil Mack.
Edmonds is doing this by himself. That's what I think is more impressive, and we should look at in a positive light for what he's been able to do. But given the situation, those guys are both in better situations to have the numbers to be Rookie of the Year.
Right.
So I think that's where they're going to be. But those 3, their careers will be forever tied.
If I had to choose 5, those are the 5 that I would say are the finalists, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
And
you can keep your 50-some-odd tackles.
Anyone else have any defensive rookies that they think are worth mentioning? Like, Minkah Fitzpatrick has been, non-existent.
Yeah, no one's really made a huge step. That being said, I don't know how well defensive rookies are doing. I mean, no one's really stood out other than the ones that have been mentioned. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. But I mean, that being said, in all fairness, this wasn't an overwhelmingly defensive heavy draft.
No, it was a quarterback.
Yeah, so I mean,
although those linebackers have proved to be pretty damn good so far.
No doubt. But I mean, typically we have some really strong safeties. We have some really strong, we had Adams the other year for the Jets.
Marcus May. They got both of them in the same fucking draft.
So you had corners and secondary guys that were really there, but this wasn't really that draft.
No.
And again, next year you have a lot more defensive players coming out next year that are going to be animals than you do this year.
Yeah, last year was top heavy. You had Derwin, you had Minkah, you had what's his name? From Ohio State, the Browns took him.
Ward?
Yeah.
Ward.
The year before that,
and actually, I don't think he's having a bad year either.
No, he's not. He's doing well.
I can't watch Cleveland games. To me, are hard to watch because it's going to end in a tie. So I'll just see it once that happens.
Yeah. But the year before,
have they played in not a overtime game?
Yeah, they beat the Jets.
Was that it?
Yeah.
That's the only time they haven't gone in overtime. I'm sorry, Dan.
But no, I think if you look back at 2 years ago...
Dirtbag.
Oh, Jesus.
Good. You should have hit him in the head.
2 years ago, you had even the later rounds, you had quality talent. In the secondary, Cowboys got 4. Chidobe Awuzie, who's been solid so far. Xavier Woods. Jordan Lewis. He is an uncaged animal.
Your drafting isn't bad. It's been solid, and you've always addressed what you need. There is a bigger issue at play in Dallas, and we'll get to that. But we need to get to the Bills.
Yes. So
Tremaine Edmonds. That being said, I think Tremaine Edmonds was a better pick than Josh Allen was.
Perhaps,
in my opinion, I just think overall that you have a guy who can be the cornerstone of what you want your defense to be. And will be a leader for you for years to come.
Right, hold on to your thought about Josh Allen. I want to hear what Dan Beebe and Dan O'Shea have to say about Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Can you think of anyone else, or do you think he's a solid, if you had to go with the final 3, final 5, whatever? We're going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about our Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, MVP, Coach of the Year, all that. So we'll do the full gamut next week, but just a little preview of Defensive Rookie of the Year. Can you think of anyone else?
Not really others.
No, not really.
It's been pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I think as you guys said, we've pretty much hit the top, and there's really not a lot else to key in on.
Yeah, the top 3 picks. Sorry, really quickly. Defensive Rookie of the Year for next season. The top 3 picks might literally be defensive ends, with Bosa, Oliver, Lawrence.
You know, nice. not doing bad, actually. 34 tackles, 2 sacks at a linebacker. Jerome Baker for Miami is not having a bad year. That being said, linebacker might be the only position that the Dolphins are, like, sure up at. I
mean, despite that fumble on the goal line, Kenyon Drake's a good running back.
Yeah, I'm talking about linebackers, though.
Okay, all right.
Their linebacker core is the only thing that's really solidified there in Miami.
Gotcha. So the reason I asked you to hold on to that...
And fucking Brock Lobster.
The reason I asked you to hold on to that Josh Allen thing is the final question or topic that Chris had asked us about was, how do you feel Josh Allen has progressed? How do you feel he's progressed compared to the other rookies? And I've thought long and hard about this. I've been thinking about it for a week since he asked these questions. And I, honestly, you guys are probably going to think I'm stupid, but this is the way that, like, these rookies are in my mind right now. Have you ever seen a 5-year-old shoot a basketball and you can tell they're trying really hard? Like, they're so close. If only they were stronger.
Yeah, they put, like, both hands behind their head and try to throw it up there.
Yeah, that's what the 4 starting quarterback rookies are that I've seen so far. That's, like, none of them have done anything that's been like, wow, that is great. Like, last year we had Deshaun Watson, who came out and was like, all right, lighten shit up.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that. Do you see flashes of potential from Darnold? Absolutely. Do you see that Baker Mayfield is going to be probably the quarterback of the Browns for 8 to 10 years? Looks like it. Looks like they finally have a quarterback who has some idea of how to play football. And when it comes to Josh Allen, like, of the 4, I have him ranked 3rd of the 4 big quarterbacks because
Rosen's last, obviously.
Yeah, Rosen is last. I think he's got the most potential. I just haven't seen it. So, obviously, Sam Darnold has made some beautiful throws. He's also made some really stupid ones.
Yep.
Josh Allen, I think, is in the worst situation because he came in thinking that he was going to have a quarterback ahead of him, and the Bills tanked so that they could get the fans on board with putting in a rookie right away. And it worked, and so he was thrown into a situation that I don't think he was ready for, that I don't think the Bills should have put him in.
Well, I don't think he would have actually gone in had McCarron not gone down.
Yeah. What options did they really have?
They were the Brooklyn Robins. I knew they were some stupid bird.
Brooklyn Rob. Okay.
Have Peterman freaking have the team, like, crucified? I mean...
Well, yes. Your thought process on this whole thing should be, he's a second-year quarterback now. Maybe he won't make those same mistakes.
In preseason.
Yeah.
Because they play on Saturday.
Yeah.
And God doesn't let him play good on Sunday.
No, apparently not. Apparently not. But, like I said, we got to take...
Allen's defense, though, you know, does a kid have potential? Sure, but I mean, you can't, you know, have a shit O-line in front of him.
Exactly. That's, like, I was a big doubter of Josh Allen the entire way. Like, I still don't think he's going to be as great as others do. Do I think the Bills have found a quarterback that's going to be solid for him for 7 years or so? Yeah, I think he can be. Mm-hmm. Do I think he's going to be the same caliber quarterback as Sam Darnold is? No. But anyways, that's how I view the four rookie quarterbacks. And you can't throw Lamar Jackson in because we haven't seen him do anything. Because
that doesn't count. He hasn't played yet, and he wasn't in a situation where he was going to play.
No, he's same idea as like Pat Mahomes. Who knows? Maybe the Falcons move on from Flacco after this season. The Falcons.
I mean,
Jesus Christ. The Ravens move on from Flacco this season, after this season, and then you have like a Mahomes.
I mean, Footsteps only has a few more years left in him anyway.
Footsteps?
Yeah. Falco? That's who he is. He's the real life version.
Oh, God.
Just saying.
Okay.
I mean, are we sure that Flacco leaves this season? Because the Ravens have quietly been...
I don't think that he leaves this season, but I don't think he's got more than two
Oh.
there left before they move on.
I don't think he leaves this season. I think they leave him this season.
I
Their
don't
defense is
know.
the
I mean,
best
they were-
defense in
they
the
were an extra
NFL.
point away from tying the game up against New Orleans. You know, that was crazy. Tucker's first ever extra point miss since high school.
Well, that happens. You get old.
Yeah. And that defense is what kept them in the game. So,
Something you won't see accurate.
yeah. So, Flacco, there are already people calling for RG3 or Lamar Jackson to get in the game.
Oh, shut up, Baltimore. Listen, I know baseball was over like months ago for you. Let's not get on.
They're like 60 games
They
below
were
500.
terrible. It didn't matter. They were.
BB, can you look that up?
They were eliminated in spring training. It doesn't matter.
How many games below 500 were the Orioles?
That being said, Baltimore needs to chill out. They have a solid defense. That team
was
is holding
entertaining.
people to low scores most of these games, and they are in competitive games. So Baltimore's not as bad as they seem. Like, chill out.
Well, their defense is really good.
Yeah,
We-
and it's keeping them in games. And that being said, like, that's what you need if you're a Falcons or a Ravens fan. Now I'm doing it because of you. That's what you need as a Ravens fan, because when Flacco won the the Super Bowl, it wasn't because of him. It was because of the defense.
Well, he played really. He was like 15 touchdowns, one
Yeah,
interception.
he got hot. You just need him to get hot and not fuck it up.
Orioles finished 61 games out of first
61 games out of first place.
place. 47 and 115.
47 and 115. Oh my God, that is pathetic. Jesus
What a
Christ.
shit show.
There are college baseball teams that win more games than that, and they only play 50.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The reason I bring that part up about Flacco is you have recent history, and the NFL is a "what have you done for me?" You hear it all the time. It's a "what have you done for me lately" league. What do you have? What recently do you have that shows if your defense is going to keep you in games, that the next year or years after, your offense is going to just be fine? And you're seeing the Giants from their second year of that. The defense is what kept them in those games when we went 11-5. Offense was pathetic. Still is. You're seeing it now with the Jaguars. Their defense is stellar, but they're losing because their offense is...
Their defense has been giving up a lot of points in the last 2 weeks.
It has.
A lot of points. So
I mean,
there's,
that's what happens
there's
when-
more than just one problem.
When Bortles fumbles on the 19,
Well,
and the team's only got 19
that's
yards to
because
go.
Bortles sucks. Sit down.
So, if I'm a Ravens fan, I'm looking around the league at teams that have had great defenses, and I'm getting worried about offenses that can't, at least produce.
Yeah, but I mean, again, at least they have plans in the works for where they're going further from here. But it's not fair to put Jackson in there because he's not part of the immediate plan right now.
Right.
I mean, I agree with your ranking. I mean, honestly, Darnold and Mayfield could probably flip-flop.
I have
depending
Mayfield
on,
1, Darnold 2.
Yeah, but to me, that could be flip-flop based on who plays well that given week.
Exactly, or
But
who their opponent is.
Allen's definitely third, and Josh Rosen, in my opinion, even before he came out, he can suck it. I never thought he was good. His arrogance level and just the fact that he just looks like he thinks that his shit smells like fucking roses.
I mean, his last name is
Because,
Rosen.
actually, people are saying that the reason that he's not doing well is because he's too arrogant. He's trying to squeeze the ball into like these 3-inch windows because he thinks he's some kind of like golden god when obviously he's not.
I mean, this bothered me before he was drafted. So
I mean, he's the
had
chosen
that
Rosen.
I had that feeling about him before he was drafted, and it's one of the reasons that I'm not surprised that he's struggling right now. The kid needs to come crashing down to reality And what's terrible about it is the fact that